A close observation of the process for loading aircraft reveals several problems that should be addressed. Recognizing the time and expense that companies expend on training of proper lifting techniques, you realize that personnel, on their knees, reaching outside of the aircraft to load cargo simply does not fit the training profile. As a result, a great amount of strain is put on the backs of personnel loading the aircraft, causing personal injury. Current practices do not allow for proper lifting. This can become very expensive in lost productivity and workers' compensation claims. Various companies have different rules as to how far away from the aircraft the belt loader should be positioned, but it is never to make contact with the aircraft. This all makes sense to prevent damage to the aircraft, but is seldom followed because of the gap left between the belt loader and the aircraft opening. One typically sees the belt loader no more than an inch or two from the aircraft, and yet the problem of proper lifting still exists as the belt is still over 6 inches away. As personnel get behind, packages tend to get caught in the gap between the aircraft and the moving belt, or falling to the ground, sometimes on a wet ramp from rain or snow, or even de-ice fluid from a previous flight. Passenger claims to baggage or contents of the baggage continue to be a problem in any case. Personnel are often seen crawling under a belt that is sometimes moving in order to retrieve the fallen cargo. This creates the possibility of another item striking them as it falls. Currently, the only solution to this dilemma is another person standing at the end of the belt loader assisting in transferring the cargo from the belt into the aircraft. This is labor-intensive and becomes a problem when short-staffed. In larger aircraft, this is not always a viable option due to the height of the opening of the aircraft. Damage sustained to aircraft is commonplace as cargo often strikes the edge of the doorway or the cargo bay floor. The Embraer XRJ is a prime example as we typically see the cargo strike the incline of the floor at the entrance of the plane. Every hit the aircraft takes adds to the damage. An extension ramp for the belt loader solves each of these issues in a safe and practical manner. Cargo may now be brought directly to the cargo bay floor, eliminating the need to reach out of the aircraft, all while keeping the belt loader 6 to 8 inches away from the aircraft. Once the belt loader is in position and chocked, the belt loader extension ramp is flipped into position by personnel who are able to guide the ramp into position while standing in the critical area, making certain the ramp does not make incorrect contact to the aircraft. The front edge of the belt loader extension ramp rests on the cargo bay floor with a rubber bumper protecting the floor from damage. The ramp is hinged, allowing for the movement of the aircraft or belt loader, eliminating the chance for damage to occur. The cargo is now brought directly into the aircraft to the personnel lifting and at a faster speed, allowing for a more efficient use of labor. Heavy objects are now able to be slid into the aircraft rather than lifted, and cargo is simply pushed into the aircraft by the following cargo if the person loading the aircraft falls behind. The necessity for additional personnel loading the aircraft now becomes negligible. Offloading the aircraft with the belt loader extension ramp is as simple as loading. Common practice now is to toss the cargo from the aircraft onto the belt, once again creating the possibility for damage to the cargo. With the belt loader extension ramp in place, cargo may now be placed on the ramp that is close to the personnel and pushed onto the moving belt. This saves on the physical stress to personnel, as well as damage to the cargo impacting the belt, and cargo bouncing off the belt and falling to the ground, which is commonplace. Use of the extension ramp is optional. The ramp may remain with the front edge hanging in between the belt loader bumpers in lieu of being placed inside the aircraft. This is sometimes preferred on the larger aircraft as current practices for unloading are sufficient. In short, the belt loader extension ramp will save on the physical stress to personnel, damage to cargo, damage to aircraft as the belt loader remains further from the aircraft, as well as cargo making a better transition into the aircraft, and provides for a more efficient use of personnel. When used properly, the advantage of this unit becomes clear.